Okay, so let's get real in this moment. What are you afraid of? I want to make sure that you identify what it is that you're afraid of and you face it. Sometimes we can get so wrapped up in fear that it paralyzes us, that we're not able to make any moves, that we are no longer progressing and we're remaining stagnant. I want to help you potentially identify some fears in your life. Do you fear your spouse walking away from you? Do you fear your house falling apart if you aren't intimately involved and in control of every aspect of it? Do you fear that you will be broke and destitute if you don't manage every dime of your finances? Do you fear getting fired from your job if you don't move in perfection with every work assignment given to you? Do you feel like your coworkers will hate you if you are real and vulnerable and expose your true self? Do you feel like you'll be rejected and mocked by others if you begin to show your true self to them and speak your voice? Do you fear that people will reject you and hate you if you speak your truth? Do you fear that if you surrender to God, you will lose yourself? That you will be unhappy? See, what is it that you fear? Understand that fear will have you operating in inauthenticity. It will lead you to performance. It will lead you to not being who you truly are and walking in your true identity, because you don't want your fears to become a reality. The problem is that the world needs who you truly are. Your family, your job, your boss, your friends, the world needs who you truly are. Why? Because when God created you, He created you based off a need in the world. And who and what He has assigned to you needs you, the real you. You see, what He hasn't assigned for you to do, the people He has not desired for you to be in community with, they don't need you. They're not supposed to have the real you. See, if you can't be your true self, if you can't rest and who and what you are, you've got to question if you're supposed to be involved in that thing. You've got to question your approach in that thing, because God doesn't desire you to live in fear. So why do you have so much fear about it? Why is it that you're worried that if you are your true self doing the very best you can, that that's not enough? If it's not enough and you risk losing it, you were never supposed to have it. Does that make sense? It's time to stop white-knuckling things. It's time to stop strong-arming things. It's time to stop living in fear. And it's time to be your true self as God has called you to be, and let the chips fall where they may. Whatever you lose, being your true self and being the best that you can be and doing the best that you can, whatever you lose in that process was never meant to be yours in the first place. And you letting it go could be the key to unlocking your future, your happiness, your joy, your peace. See, that's what Satan wants. He wants you living and operating in fear. He wants you living and operating outside of who you truly are. He wants you so caught up and wrapped up in performance that you're not living in the trust, the faith, the will of God. Do you trust that God is watching over and covering your finances? Do you trust that God is on your job with you and that he called you to this job and he will help you get through this job? And are you relying on him to get through it? Do you feel called and led to that job? Do you feel called and led to the people on that job? Do you feel called and led to that spouse, to those friends? Do you trust God with your finances? Are you leaning and depending on God in all those areas? If you are, then why are you living in such fear? Fear will paralyze you. Fear will have you stagnant. Fear will have you living in authenticity. What is it that you're fearful of? Ask yourself that, because it all can be reduced down to fear. If you have any struggle, any strife, anything in your life, ask yourself, what is the fear? What is the root fear of it? Even with coming to God, you feel like you're going to lose something. You're going to give up something. Anything that God asks you to release doesn't serve you. It's not for you. It's hindering you. It's causing problems because you were never supposed to have it. That's why he wants you to release it. So you don't have to fear anything God's having you do or having you release, because whatever it is, it's for you. It's for your benefit. Today, face the fear. What is it? And bring that fear before the Lord and ask him. Ask him to remove that fear and to strengthen you in that area and give you courage and boldness and strategy moving forward so you can stand tall in that area in your authority in Jesus Christ.